Hi, I'm Lynn with Arrow Sewing. Today we're going to be making some quick and easy gifts to give bowl cozies. I'm going to be showing you two ways of doing it. The first way is with the AccuQuilt system. It takes about 20 minutes start to finish. The second way will be just with the scraps of fabric batting, and you'll be doing a couple extra steps, but quick and easy as well. First off, the AccuQuilt system. Absolutely love this die. It is the bowl cozy die. You're going to need 2 pieces of fabric and 2 pieces of batting. Really important that you use 100% cotton batting without any scrims or fillers or resins or glues. The second thing is 100% quilting cotton, and it's always a good idea to pre-wash your fabric just to get rid of the sizing that's in there. So I pre-cut 2 squares and batting. You don't need to have this real extremely accurate. You just need a piece large enough to cover the die. And you can tell that because there's a dark area and a light area, and you want it to cover the incomplete dark area. Give it some love. Let's slide it off. The nice thing about this die is that it does get a little staticky sometimes, but it's absolutely perfect for a bowl cozy because it keeps your batting and your fabric together. First piece is done. Second piece. In my second piece. All right, we'll bring those over to the sewing machine and we'll finish them up. But first, let's do one using a rotary cutter and a ruler. So the way I like to make these, get my stuff out, is you're going to take 2 pieces of fabric and 2 pieces of batting, and we're going to be cutting 11-inch squares for a medium-sized bowl. Square this one up. Okay, fabric. 2 11-inch squares of fabric. I've chosen a main print and a contrast. You can do these in the same print, doesn't make a difference. And the batting, same thing, only this time I'm going to cut it just a little bit shorter. I'm going to do a 10.5-inch batting. All right, let's save myself some steps here. Okay, we're going to layer a batting to the back side of your fabric. Kind of center that batting in there, smooth it down. Same thing on the second square of fabric. Now with this, I have a tendency to want to draw the X's on here because you'll be stitching the batting down to this square of fabric. Now you can do that with the AccuQuilt as well. I find that I don't always have to do it, but I'm here. So I'll quickly make those X's. Both pieces are ready to sew, and we'll take it to the machine. My X's are drawn, so I am going to bring them to this machine, and we are going to stitch along that diagonal that we drew. I'm going to chain piece them, so I'll make the first diagonal line and come back and do that second. And there's no need to back tack, simply because that's all going to be caught in the seam when we go and join these together. Okay, and my batting is stitched down to my fabric. Now it's time to make the darts. What we're going to do is we're going to fold right sides together, and we're going to make our darts on all 4 sides. To do that, we're going to measure 1 inch across, and depending on how deep you want this bowl cozy, I've had some people do 2 inches, some people do 2.5. I'm going to stick with 2 inches. And then I'll draw a line to connect those 2 dots. That will be my stitching line. I've got this side folded. I'm going to come over, I'm going to make my markings on that second side, because again, I'm going to chain piece these. Okay, ready to go. Now with the dart, I am going to back tack at this end. We've got our darts made on the 2 sides. I've got to do 2 more sides on each square. So we're just going to turn them right sides together, match up the corners. You're basically folding this fabric right in half. And there we have it. Same thing, 1 inch across, 2 inches down. Okay, there we have it. Now, to reduce the bulk in those darts, I'm just going to take a scissors and trim that excess away. Don't have to be real exact, but it's about 1/8 of an inch. Good to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to layer these right sides together. You can either pin. I absolutely, I prefer to clip, so I'm going to take some Wonder Clips. What I'm going to do is I'm going to match up the seams. I'm going to match up these corners and just put clips in there. I'm going to use about a 3/8 inch seam. Some people will use a 1/2 inch. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch seam. I have it marked on my sewing machine using a piece of painter's tape. So what we're going to do though when we go all the way around is we are going to leave about a 2-inch opening to turn this. And I kind of like to offset those darts, so I push one to one side and the other to the opposite side so they nest. And that reduces the bulk too when I'm going around and stitching this together. Sometimes you have to coax them a little bit. There you go. All right, pin or clip, you're ready for the next step. Just like at the ends of the darts where I backstitched or back tagged, I'm going to do the same thing when I start and finish this. That helps when you turn. It reinforces that end a little bit more. Okay, so the tip I have for this, where the dart is, you're going to stop, needle down in that seam, and then you're going to just make a little pivot. Take it right up to that seam, and I'm going to stop, needle down in that seam, and again make just a slight little pivot. And just like we did with the darts, we're going to reduce some of the bulk right here in the corners. so about a 1/4 inch away. We're just gonna clip that. When we go to turn this, it'll make that corner just a little bit cleaner. My bowl is sewn. I have the corners clipped. I did clip the dart area. Again, I've not found it real necessary. Just do not clip through your stitching line. And I am going to turn it. Okay, my last step is to close this opening right here, and I'm going to top stitch it a 1/4 of the inch all the way around. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a good press. It's going to help me keep that a little bit cleaner and make that top stitching go a little easier. This bowl cozy is done, ready for gifting. I want to note though, you can make this in different sizes. The 11-inch, great, 10 or 9. All of them, you can use the same size dart, that inch across, 2 inches down. If you want a deeper cozy, go with the 2.5 inches down for your dart. But this cozy is done. Now, I will flip over and do the one cut with AccuQuilt. Here's the major difference. We do not have to measure darts. Those are already pre-measured for us, but the process is the same. I'm going to sew my X, I'll move to my darts, and then we're going to join them together. So here we go. Remember, I've already drawn my X's on the ones cut with the AccuQuilt die. All right, these darts are already pre-cut for me, so we are just going to fold that in half, lining up our lines, and we are going to stitch down, back tacking at the end there. I'm going to keep that seam right about a 1/4 of an inch, a little bit less. Okay, we are going to right sides together, match the corners, the darts, leave the 2 to 3 inch opening to turn. Let's get this one sewn up. Okay, with these corners being rounded, there's really no need to trim. I have a little bit of bulk in this one, so I'll give that just a little bit of a trim there. But other than that, we're just going to turn, press, and top stitch. We're turning. And I do want to note, we don't have to trim corners on here, and we don't have to trim the darts. Round that corner out. Again, don't be tempted to use the point of your scissors. Don't do it. All right, we need to top stitch, and I need to close that opening up. And there you have it, bowl cozies made two different ways. This one using the AccuQuilt small bowl cozy die. They have one other die that's a little bit larger, so you have a choice, but this one, fast, fun, and simple. This one, we simply used two 11-inch squares of fabric. You could also adjust the size by making your squares smaller. And that is about it. I hope you have fun making your own bowl cozies.